Meditating and pondering on the ways of the world today. Thinking of my people Africa and the state of the continent today. How mothers fed their children today. As granny goes down on her knees every day and prays. How many souls are dying from causes that could be prevented? If we did have leaders who cared for us today. Oh, 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 Zion and Yahweh. Zion away. Zion away. Africa rise, young. Every 4 years, the politicians say he's your servant today. After you vote for them, they metamorphose into your masters. I say, have your say, we'll have our way, yeah. Not no strange, it's cow demon crosses. Meanwhile, souls are dying from causes that could be prevented. If we did have leaders who cared for us today. Oh, oh, oh. Zion and Yahweh. Zion away. Zion away. Africa rise.
We can be great. World turbulence among the politics. Never hypocrite, lava. Never ever quit, just a little bit longer. Victory is near, they're gonna disappear, go under. The leaders them no care, never tend to share. Babylon quit, the shedding of blood. Your heart that goes over if you show no love. Stay away, consciousness. What is all the nation if for no righteousness? Just make sure the children live.
I pray for the future generation not to give up this fight. I pray for the children of tomorrow not to sell out their birthright. Cause when I look out far, I see the strangers eating up your food. Another form of slavery is coming here again. And that's why people are dying from causes that could be prevented. Oh yes, we do need some better leadership today. Oh, oh, oh. Zion and Yahweh. Zion away. Let's go. Zion away. Africa rise, young. Don't be fooled. But as the day breaks, I see my people rising up again. Shaking up all the shackles, I see my people shaking up those chains. The lion with the mane, blood of the slain will never be in vain.
Never.
No, no, no. We don't want to see no more people dying from causes that can be prevented.
No more
Bring that better leadership today. the slain will never be in vain.
Never.
No. We don't want to see no more people dying. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Yo, listen, man. My name is Ja, beloved. You can call me Kwesi back when the occasion calls for it. You are watching iCulture TV. Keep it locked. iCulture TV. Africa from African perspective. All right, 1 2 Radio Culture team. Please let me know how the audio is going. Am I live? Am I airborne? I'm having some challenges in the studio. Team, please check in on the chat. Let me know if you can hear me. In the meantime, if you can hear me, my name is Kwesi Esonbak. You can call me Jack Beloved. On this one, I prefer you call me Kwesi Esonbak. Today, we are coming to you, as always. It's a Sunday, and we are reaching you with our live stream. I will be coming to you with our first interview from Studio One, Texas, USA. And if everything goes well, which I believe it will, Mbak the General will be bringing you the second interview from Studio 2 in Ghana. And of course, that will be followed by the rest of the show with agriculture, arts and culture, and of course, the reports all on iCulture TV, Radio Culture. Team, I'm still waiting for your response. Let me know what's going on. In the meantime, I'm going to go for a very short commercial break. Before the break, however, let me introduce my first interview, and I hope you can hear me. Yes, on the first interview, we will be speaking hopefully with Madam Patricia PJ. Madam Patricia PJ is the deputy minority leader in Parliament. And of course, from the New Patriotic Party, NPP. They have called for the resignation or the removal of the Attorney General, and we want to find out why they think that the Attorney General should be removed from his position. It's all based on a supposed 350 million cedi withdrawal from a certain fund that was used for flood victim relief. Hopefully we'll get Madame Apieje and we'll speak with her about that. In the meantime, please bear with me. Let's go for a very short commercial break. When we come back, show starts.
The Catfish Grill, Ghana's best kept culinary secret.
Welcome to Tucson Hotel, your ultimate home away from home. Located in the serene town of Ejisu Ichakrum, just off the Jabin Road, we offer you a haven of comfort and luxury. Step into our fully air-conditioned 40 bedrooms, where modern elegance meets convenience. Whether you choose our normal, standard, deluxe standard, or executive rooms, each one is equipped with Wi-Fi and DSTV, ensuring that you stay connected and entertained throughout your stay. Indulge your taste buds at our exquisite bar and restaurant, where our skilled chefs prepare a wide range of culinary delight to satisfy every palate. From local delicacies to international favorites, we have something for everyone. Planning a business meeting or a special event? Look no further than our state-of-the-art conference hall. With a capacity to accommodate 80 to 100 people, it is the perfect venue for your corporate gatherings or social celebrations. But that's not all. We proudly boast the largest recreational center in the Ejisu municipality. With a capacity to accommodate up to 2,000 people, it is the ideal location for concerts, weddings, and other grand events. It comes with 4 fully air-conditioned bedrooms and a kitchen as one package. Our luxury cars are also available for rent. Drive like a boss. To experience true hospitality and unmatched comfort, contact us today. Our friendly staff is ready to assist you. You can reach us at 0244 654 458, 0246 505 327, or 0241
story building ya abandon no ama say criminals nko a we to kese hide to ha afi so ball na yetu ntmesese baby amobi amoteme nka ye nsada nsayem esem se mo meboaye na mo complete ye
oye be ma abufiano
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much for staying. And we're still trying to get us our first interview on the way. As you know, today is a big day for the New Patriotic Party. Madam Apeje is currently engaged in one of those places where the executive elections are going on. So she has promised to join us very soon. She will be joining us, and as soon as she's ready for us, we'll bring you that interview. In the meantime, on our second interview, we are scheduled to speak with Russ Aswad in Krabia, who is also getting ready to speak with us. We will be talking about the
update in Ghana and South Africa's relationships from the point of view of a political activist, somebody who wants to see Africa unite, and somebody who wants to see progress in the relationship between African countries. He has, however, strongly condemned what's going on in South Africa, and we want to speak with him to find out what the current situation is with what's going on in the diplomatic relations between Ghana and South Africa. That's with Ras Aswad in Krabia, and that's on the second interview. As soon as we are able to get Madam Apieje on. In the meantime, as a matter of fact, if we're not able to get Madam Apieje in time, we are just minded to bring you Ras Aswad in Krabia because I think he is ready. Let's go for another very short commercial break. As soon as we come back, we will bring you, if he's ready, Ras Aswad in Krabia to speak about Ghana and South Africa's diplomatic relations. We'll be right back.
Blood of the slain will never be in vain.
Never.
No. We don't want to see no more people dying. Zayana Yahweh. Whoa. Zayana Yahweh. Whoa. Zayana Way. Whoa, Zayana Yahweh. Yo, listen, man. My name is Ja, beloved. You can call me Kwesi Back when the occasion calls for it. You are watching iCulture TV. Keep it locked. iCulture TV. Africa. From African perspective.
Making healthy food choices are a daily challenge for most people. You see, the food you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. Introducing the Green Health Pharmacy and Functional Medicine Clinic that gets to the root cause of your disease. We present to you the True Green Foods brand that allows you to enjoy healthy food options without sacrificing the foods you love. True Green Foods have low-carb swallow options for fufu, banku, tuozafi, eba, kenke, amala, and semovita. Good tasting and supremely delicious without compromising blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, weight management goals, and all diseases that one may be battling with. They also have a low-carb replacement for oatmeal, grits, and cream of wheat, which are highly dense in carbohydrates. Check out Alta Oats, Beta Oats, Clean Oats, as well as Kajma porridge and cream of lacca when you visit our shop. The breakfast options are not just delicious, but meet the standards of an anti-inflammatory diet. All True Green Foods are all diabetic friendly. Find Green Health Pharmacy in Woodbridge, Virginia, or call us on 703-670-3640. WhatsApp 571-300-5039. Find us on IG at Green Health Farm. There's no better way for a healthy lifestyle. Remember, your health is your wealth.
The Catfish Grill, Ghana's best kept culinary secret.
Welcome to Tucson Hotel, your ultimate home away from home. Located in the serene town of Ejisu Ichakrum, just off the Jabin Road, we offer you a haven of comfort and luxury. Step into our fully air-conditioned 40 bedrooms, where modern elegance meets convenience. Whether you choose our normal, standard, deluxe standard, or executive rooms, each one is equipped with Wi-Fi and DSTV, ensuring that you stay connected and entertained throughout your stay. Indulge your taste buds at our exclusive bar and restaurant. Our skilled chefs prepare a wide range of culinary delights to satisfy every palate. From local delicacies to international food, we have something for everyone. Planning a business meeting or a special event, look no further than our state-of-the-art conference hall. With capacity to accommodate 80 to 100 people, it is the perfect venue for corporate gatherings or social celebrations. But that's not all. We proudly boast the largest recreational center in the Ejisu municipality. With a capacity to accommodate up to 2,000 people, it is the ideal location for concerts, weddings, and other grand events. It comes with 4 fully air-conditioned bedrooms and a kitchen as one package. Our luxury cars are also available for rent. Drive like a boss. To experience true hospitality and unmatched comfort, contact us today. Our friendly staff is ready to assist you. You can reach us at 0244 654 458, 0246 505 327, or 0241 418645. You can also email us at info@tucsonhotel@gmail.com. Tucson Hotel, your home away from home.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you very much for staying. Madam Epije is still getting away from, all the activity from today's voting at their party event, and she's going to be joining us later on. But for right now, we are going to be bringing you the second interview that I told you about. Ras Aswad in Krabia is already in the green room, ready to join us. And we will be talking about Ghana-South Africa relationships from the perspective of Pan-Africanism. And he is joining us. There are also some other concerns we'll be talking about. I have to give you the heads up on that, including a protest recently from the Socialist Forum and some other like-minded bodies asking for the African Union, or asking President Mahama in particular, not to invite President Macron of France to the reparation talks. We will also talk about that. But let's start with Ghana and South Africa relationships. And joining me to do that, Ras Aswad in Krabia, political and social activist. Thank you very much for joining us, Ras. How are you today, sir?
Yes, it is my brother. Give thanks and praise. I'm doing fine. And you?
All right, thank you very much. And team, please let me know if everything is okay with the audio, because I'm still struggling here. Go to the chat and let me know, please, if everything is good with the audio. I would hate to have a brilliant interview with a guest like this, only to end up with no audio. So please alert me before we go any further. If there are any more issues, let's solve it before we continue. Thank you very much. I'm monitoring the chat. Thank you. Okay, Ras, thank you very much once again. Let's start by giving a brief overview. I'm sure everybody who follows any form of news would know about what's going on in South Africa. But tell me briefly, from your perspective as a Pan-Africanist, what primarily is your concern? What's going on between Ghana and South Africa? And we're juxtaposing that against the backdrop of the wider topic of African unity. What's your concern?
Yes, greetings, my brother. And once more, give thanks for the opportunity to be on this platform. Definitely, we have to control our own media, so we can tell our own story. And I give much appreciation to you. The situation in Ghana is a multifaceted situation wherein there are different views. There are people who are angry at what is happening in South Africa. There are people who are very joyful and feeling happy to know that they were able to come back home to Ghana. There are individuals and groups who talking about taking revenge. There are individuals and there is the issue of taking revenge. Different options such as political and economic retaliation for what has happened with Ghanaians and other Africans in South Africa. But basically what I see is happening right now is that the government is making diplomatic moves to address the issues. I have heard of information concerning actually taking South Africa to court for what has happened to Ghanaians there, and also the economic implications that they are considering. But on my personal views of the whole situation is that the left in Ghana should mobilize ourselves. When I say the left, I mean all the left-oriented group. I have not seen a collective advocacy from the left in Ghana concerning this particular issue. From different groups and different individuals and different institutions. But I have not seen a collective representation. It's very important.
I do apologize. I'm having trouble with my audio.
There was a whole lot of united
I'll push on all this because I believe that technicians are working on this. We should be connected very soon. Let me ask you let's actually start from the Macron issue, Ras, so that if anything at all, by the time everything is completed, we'll come back to this one. President Macron, what role does he have to play in the reparation talks? And since the agitation towards his being disinvited started, I have heard a certain point of view that if France had a role to play in slavery, maybe they have a role at the seat also in the reparation talks. Don't you think so? Please respond to that for me.
In the issue of reparation, the only role that I think that France need to play is by the dictate of the African countries and the African leaders who are leading the reparation movement. France, as far as I'm concerned, should not be able to allow to call any shots concerning the reparation movement. This is a movement that belongs to us, and it must be directed and demanded of all these countries who are complicit for them to do the right and the just thing. So this is not something where we are in any of the other countries to come and pacify us. We do not need pacification. We have gone through too many of that already. So when we heard that the president is inviting Macron to come and address the leaders and representatives, the global leaders and representatives of the reparation movement, to me it was a slap in the face. You know, it wasn't an appropriate move. It was like an insult to bring one of our most treacherous leaders and countries in the midst of our African leaders who have been fighting all these years to bring the reparation movements to a point where there is a serious united front on the issue of reparation going forward. There was no place for France to be there. So I would say that what they have done really was to actually prove to us what we thought from the beginning, that he has no place there, because when he came on the video, what did he say? He was actually telling us that is not going to entertain what it is that we are trying to achieve by reparations. So that's the message. So in going forward, I'm hoping that these leaders who are leading the reparation movement will recognize that if it means that we have to build ourselves to the point wherein we have that force and that level of empowerment that can force them to do the right thing, then that's what we have to do, because there should be no compromise on this reparation movement, because we have come a very long way, so many years battling to come up to this point. To come to this point now and sell it out, especially when you have somebody like Macron, who's at this very moment planning to destabilize and to destroy the revolutionary movement in the AES, specifically against Ibrahim Traore. We know that there are overt and covert activities going on with the jihadists against Burkina Faso. And for our government of Ghana to be entertaining these culprits, these pirates, these oppressors on such a close level of diplomatic relation, knowing that Burkina Faso is our ally. The government of Ghana should be more looking toward building a stronger relationship with Burkina Faso and to push forward for that united Africa, knowing that these three countries of the AES have already initiated and have proven to us that it is possible to build that unity and move forward. Granted, it's not going to be easy, but we have to make sacrifice if we want our freedom and our independence.
So again, always that discussion will be had, but who are we seeking the reparations from, one would ask, right? Because the whole idea is that yes, they are responsible for all these atrocities, and I don't even think they would even deny that. But then again, if we're having a discussion among ourselves that okay, we seek reparation has to come from the offender, right? So why then, and very shortly, very briefly, before we move on back to the South African issue, why then would they not deserve a seat at the table?
Okay, the reason why I would say that they do not deserve a seat at the table is that the African countries and the leaders of the reparation movement need to build its solidarity with those allies that we have out there, those international allies, and push for a demand that they can stand and back it, whether through economics or whether through military might. Because you are not going to get these countries to do what is right and what is just if the economic and military might is not there to back it up. So it's a political issue. So the political advocacy needs to go on the ground with these allies that we have out there that are in our best interest to build up that level of solidarity, so that when we demand what is right with those, if it comes to a point that we have to take action, whether economically or military-wise, we can do it to ensure that we get what we need to get. Because it's not going to happen with these countries that are there at this point. That is why Macron took it on himself, because he realized that we have leaders who will accommodate them to continue with their atrocities. So it has to get on that level, my brother. It has to be a serious revolutionary movement. We ourselves with the AES, Ibrahim Traore, and move along that path in terms of how they are actually moving forward to gain their independence and to gain their reparations.
All right. So now let's come back to South Africa. The discussion goes on. South Africa doesn't seem to show any form of remorse whatsoever for what's going on there, and we actually seem to hear in certain quarters a doubling down of that rhetoric. The country is ours, get out, all this other stuff. Other Africans are the problem, all these things that have been trumpeted. What do you see where you say? And as an update, by the way, what do you see? Do you see what I see? You said doubling down of what's going on.
Yes, I think they have been bought and they have been sold. Right? Those leaders who are on the front line talking about the march and those who are leading the advocacy against us, because that's what it is really. It is an Afrophobic agenda where it's specifically engineered and designed to create conflict and confusion on the continent. It is not just about South Africa, because South Africa is going to be the one that will ignite it, and it's already started. Right now, the fragmentation has already started by the fact that they have targeted various African immigrants. And of course, the governments of those countries are going to react. So what you have on the continent right now is Africans fighting Africans, right? It's Africans fighting South Africa. And South Africa is a very iconic and historical point of redemption and liberation because of the fact that the region and we all came from various parts of Africa and the Caribbean and other places in the world to support the liberation struggle. So it is natural for Africans to continue that solidarity movement and that relationship, right? It is also the largest industrialized country in Africa. So economically, you would find migrants who will be here to seek great opportunities. But the problem is that South African whites, along with Israel and the United States, have already intervened and have bought these individuals as mercenaries to carry through their work to make their mission much easier when Africans fighting against each other. And that has compromised the liberation movement in South Africa. And it is sad because of the fact that the legacy of South Africa is so strong and powerful, with so many powerful leaders who have left a strong legacy there. And we find today they are no longer there. It is very insane that they would get up and to blame the immigrants who fought side by side with them to free them from the fangs of apartheid, while at the same time they are making no organized mission and movement towards the white settler colony that are there, who have control about 80% of the economy, and have set themselves in a way wherein the marginalization of the rest of South Africa helps to create these conditions that these activists, these so-called activists, are not looking at the main reasons why we are having these problems. They're rather blaming the victims.
Yeah, and I personally don't understand certain things, because if you look I don't know if you remember the situation where two women who were gleaning on the fringes of a farm were shot by a white farmer. Women who were doing no wrong at all, just gleaning after the combined harvesters had gone through the field, right? These women were shot shot actually by a white farmer.
Yes,
also, we have situations where there's a town in South Africa where they have advertised that no black can set foot there. I don't see any anger in that area. I rather see anger at other Africans who come in to do menial jobs, some of which South Africans would not even touch with a long pole. But let's not dwell too much on that. We're trying to get an update on what's going on and how this can be moved forward. Let's look at what happened recently. The president of Ghana, or the government of Ghana, I should say, issued a statement declining to meet a government delegation. It's been stated that that was not a state visit, diplomatic visit, whatever. I don't even think it matters. But the very fact that a proposed meeting between two friendly countries has been put on hold for these type of reasons is quite worrying, don't you think, Ras?
Yes, I think that these are stance and position that the government should take to show its opposition and to show its resistance, because there has to be strong warning to the authorities of South Africa, because we saw all of what is going on there and we realized that the government was not doing anything to protect these citizens of other African countries. While the people were allowed, they were allowed to run free on the road and create all these crimes against these Africans. And the government did nothing. So clearly the government is complicit in that. I am not sure whether they are doing that mainly because of the fact that the election is coming up soon and they are afraid of losing the election, because these marchers determined that they want to get them out of power. So it could be a political strategy that they are using to do that, but clearly the complicity is there. What I think needs to be done is that the revolutionaries who are on the ground, they should continue to build, to engage with the working people concerning in terms of the small farmers, the trade unions, and the various youth groups and civic group organization groups that are there. Actually educate the population so that they can see clearly that the migrants are not the real problem, and find a way to give them that direction towards channeling their anger and their concerns towards the system that is actually implementing these atrocious behaviors.
What do you think? Do you think Ghana should not escalate, so-called, right? Because people think that, okay, Ghana can probably take the higher ground, quote unquote. Do you think Ghana, first of all, pulling out its citizens, which some South Africans, including Julius Malema, have criticized, do you think that Ghana also taking the matter to the African Union for South Africa to be looked at, and now Ghana refusing or rejecting a meeting with the South African government delegation? Do you think Ghana is escalating?
Yes, Ghana should escalate because of the fact that we know that they are not in control, full control of what is happening. They are being used and they are manipulated to create that divisiveness among African countries. So clearly Ghana has to take the higher moral ground and to actually escalate, wherein it goes to the African Union and it goes to the International Criminal Court. Because South Africa must remember that when they took Israel to the International Court and they won, clearly it is going to be a vengeance and a repercussion. And this is what is happening right now. They are using this situation, or have created or engineered situation so they can get back at South Africa to nullify what has happened in the past in terms of that legal action that was taken against South Africa. So Ghana should really be looking at it from that broader geopolitical standpoint, where that united front again, that other countries who have the same mindset and political orientation should come together. Ghana should play that leading role to bring them together to take that international stance with the ICC and with the African Union to ensure that it is taken up from that legal standpoint with international institutions.
But in terms of the reaction, though, on a governmental level, do you think Ghana took the right decisions in these three situations?
Oh, clearly, yes, I am in support of the decision that the Ghana government. The first thing is they provided security for the citizens who were stranded in South Africa, and they provide that level of protection, which I respect very, very, very much, to have been able to bring over 300 of them back to Ghana and to let them feel welcome back at home. right? And then from there now, they can go ahead and take all necessary steps to do their research in terms of what is happening there and what needs to be done. But they did, you know, I must commend them for that bold initiative in the beginning, for intervening so fast, and have been able to remove all those Ghanaians back here. But as I said before, it is a united action that is important. That alliance needs to be built between these African countries, and Ghana should spearhead that. So that when they take a strong action, it must be with united and not just individual countries taking action as regards to this issue of South Africa, because it's not just South African so the street, right, that are behind. There are major forces behind it that these African governments need to confront.
All right. So going forward,
white
Ross,
settler group, and there's Israel, and there's the United States that are behind.
Going forward, how do you
move
want the rest of Africa to respond? Obviously, if there was some sort of, I personally, and maybe you may see it differently, but from where I sit, I don't see any body language, even from the politicians, in terms of we want to discuss this as an issue. I just see doubling down basically on all levels, right? And passing the blame. For instance, if Ghana pulls out its people, that's a problem. I don't get it, right? And some people would make an issue out of a country that decides that I want to secure the safety of my people. That rather is a problem. And these same people are not addressing the fact that people who put their money into businesses, no matter how big or small, need to be protected the same way MTN and Stanbic Bank and all these other entities in other African countries are being protected. How do you go to a hospital where people are sick and ask them to leave because the healthcare is for you? It's just, I don't want to use any adjectives, but all I'm saying here is that if we had some sort of year to speak into, it would make it easier for us. But as we speak, I don't see any willingness, any readiness to engage in any constructive discussion about this. Am I seeing well, or am I seeing differently where I sit? What do you see, Ras, before we go?
No, I fully agree with you, my brother. As I said before, that Ghana can initiate a united front with other African countries who have become victims of that same March and March agenda in South Africa. It is only with that united front that I am seeing that we are going to have a real impact. Because granted, we have brought home our people back here in Africa. But going forward, the unity of Africa is important. The United States of Africa that Kwame Nkrumah and all those other leaders have been working for generations is important. So we do not want to destroy those opportunities. So it's very important for Ghana to lead that charge of speaking with all these African countries, whether it is going to go through ECOWAS or you're going through African Union. There has to be a concerted effort by the President of Ghana to initiate that united front to address the issue from a diplomatic and political standpoint. Because granted, we are not going to try and do the same thing like what they are doing where Ghanaians start attacking South Africa. Now, we want a situation where the other countries who are affected, they are doing the same thing to South Africans. Because that is not the solution. The solution is the oppressive forces who are trying to get a stronghold in Africa to control the economy, take charge of our resources, which we must recognize that and prevent that from happening. So it's a political approach that needs to happen. The left-oriented organizations can make an impact by uniting on the ground here in Ghana, which, as I said before, I am not seeing that united effort with the left in Ghana to put pressure on the government to take that united stance with all the other countries who are affected. That's the only way I see out. I do not see Ghana alone or any other African countries alone will be able to have a strong impact on what is happening, because the forces of the oppressors are very, very strong in South Africa and determined that South Africa is not going to become that liberation force that it is known for. And when you look at it, that is the only country that right now can attract all these African countries in solidarity, economically,
All right,
politically.
give thanks, give enough thanks. Before we go, let's look at the AES, a region in Africa that I think is underreported, and when it's reported, it's not reported properly, in my opinion. If you look at recent developments within the AES, I see moves which align very much with the visions of the fathers of African unity. Right? These are three countries that have merged together and are functioning as a regional bloc. We see agreements whereby one country's army can cross the border into the other country to defend it without any diplomatic blocks as used to exist before. We see moves where Russia is inviting them as a bloc, the way other bodies invite, say, the African Union or the ECOWAS or anything like that. The AES is making heavy strides. Please share with us in a minute or two some of the success stories that you've heard about the AES before we wrap it up.
Well, the first thing is that they are in full control of their resources. That is the first important strategic move, was to take control of your resources, which is a very good example for the rest of the African countries. Recently, I've seen where Burkina Faso have cut diplomatic ties with France, right? It's a very bold and sacrificial move, but it was necessary. And at the end of the day, we will see that it was a very serious beneficial move that was needed to be taken. So those successes I see as some of the main fundamental ones. Secondly, is that the military agreement between the three countries for security is paramount, because you cannot handle these jihadists maneuvers that are taking place to destroy the AES. You cannot manage them by just having one country alone. So that military pact is very important, and that's what Kwame is important for Ghana to recognize as a strong force, to build stronger alliance and not encourage and entertain France and those other countries who we know for sure they are making every effort and inroad to destroy that unity. They have gone a very long way now by actually producing a lot of food that they used to import population. The issue initiative to cut all ties with those biotech companies who are enforcing GMOs on African countries. The medical fields, they are actually doing the same thing in terms of gradually building hospitals and clinics and whatever that are there for the masses. The most important thing that I see is that the legacy of that he left there for the youth and people in terms of organized community groups that are still there. They are building up on it gradually. And that is one of the reasons why that region has been able to be so successful, because that revolutionary ideological training that Thomas Sankara have left is what is keeping those people together today, right? And we know that the West will do anything to intervene and destroy that country. So I would say big up to Burkina Faso, big up to the AES, and Ghana should really, really, really make an effort to put its attention on building that alliance and strengthening.
Yes, indeed. Ghana actually is the country that has a diplomatic envoy. I don't know about the other countries, I can at least speak for Ghana, has a diplomatic envoy to the AES. And I think that's a very, very, very good move to try to maintain, that. And I think Ghana really should, not just Ghana, the rest of the ECOWAS bloc should think about possibly merging back into the AES, even if they want to change the name. But looking at the format that the AES is using, I think it's working some magic. There's definitely some change going on. Russ, finally, I did say finally with the AES, but I just thought about this also. Finally, I want your reaction on this. Haiti, 222 years after the famous revolution that actually mapped the geography of the United States and some other regions in this part. That famous revolution that put France's army down and forced Napoleon to pull out of the region, basically. They were marking this revolution and they decided to incorporate an image on the jerseys that they sent to the World Cup. By the way, it's only the second time that qualified to go to the World Cup. And mind you, second time, 222 years, that means something to those who believe in numerology and all of that. But anyway, they went there and FIFA said, no, you cannot put that symbol on your jersey because it's too political. Please react to this for me before we go.
But here we are again, right? We have institutions that are not representing our best interests to determine the do's and the don'ts. As African countries, we see the amount of players that we have in a lot of these countries, these European countries, who are actually making the team, the kind of level that they are. These African players are actually making these teams successful. So it's time for us to start recognizing that if we have to make the sacrifice to build our own institutions, that we do not have to depend and become part of their decision making. It is very important for African leaders now to recognize the might and the strength that Black people as a whole and Africans have globally, and strengthen that by uniting all these different entities and individuals. And of course, it's going to require a certain level of economics, because it's financial aspect of players are there. So the governments of Africa, again, has to take that plan of Kwame Nkrumah to unite basically in everything. Just, I mean, sports is not different from anything else. It's basically the same way. So that our economics can go towards helping these players to become more stronger and these institutions. So it's a whole institutionalized issue. You are having a major team, national team, and you can't find a Black man to be the major coach. So you have to find a white person to actually pick us.
Yes,
in
indeed.
This time, it doesn't speak about us, honestly speaking, right? Everything requires sacrifice. And if you look at Burkina Faso, it is sacrificial that are in them where they are. And it seems like a lot of us just as these oppressors have it where they are right now. And they also have made sacrifices. Granted, they have robbed and steal and plunder to get there. We are not in a position to do that. But we are in the position to unite and build a strong force, like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah says, so that we can get what we want.
Ras Aswadi Krabia, thank you very much for making time for us today. We really appreciate your time and your insights. We want to say a huge thank you for sharing the time with us. Of course, it's only the beginning of the conversation. If you ask me, we will be checking in with you from time to time on this and similar topics for which we would have no better guest than you. But thank you very much for joining us today, and keep the fire burning, as I would say. Thank you so much.
Give thanks, my lord. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right. Ras Aswad Nkrabia, political and social activist, joining us today for interview 1. We'll be crossing over at this time to Studio 2 for the second interview of the day. Before that, however, I need to apologize, first of all, that we're not able to bring you Madame Patricia PJ. She seems to current issues, right? Of course, as you know, today they're voting and all of that, and we've received a message from her aide stating that she is currently in a crack meeting going on. So we may be able to bring her to you at some point in the show, but currently, let me apologize that we are not able to do so. Before we go to Studio 2, however, let me quickly turn this into an editorial, because my questions no go feed them my truth. I for ask them with or without the guest. Let's watch this video. When we come back, we will react to it quickly before we go to Studio 2. Please stay with us.
The Attorney General is the principal legal advisor to the government and is responsible for the conduct of all civil proceedings against the state. His letter of 1st July 2026 is a written admission of failure on both fronts. As the officer responsible for civil proceedings against the state, he presided over litigation in which a constitutional fund of the Republic was attached, and there's no indication that the attachment was resisted or that any application was made to discharge it. As principal legal advisor, when the moment came to counsel lawfully, should he fail to do the honorable thing, we call on the President, who swore an oath to preserve, protect, and defend this Constitution, to relieve him of office without delay.
Okay, we will pause it there for now, and I'll have a quick reaction before we cut across to Studio 2. First of all, this interview, or this press conference, I should say, represents one of many which serves to infuriate some people. Infuriate, mark that word, infuriate. And that's why I would have loved to get Madam Appiagyei here to explain some things to us. Because first of all, and I have a reaction from Roxanne Nelson Dafiamepo, which I don't even think is necessary to play. If we have to play it, we'll play it at some point. The audio is kind of low, but if we have to play it, we'll play it. However, what I got from that interview or from that piece is this. Yes, there may be an issue with garnishing the account, right? An account from which monies was taken out of to go and attend to flood victims. Let's put all the parliamentary entrapment and all those things aside, and let's start thinking as people, right? First of all, we've had a monolithic incident, like a crisis of unimaginable proportions. We've had a flood within which there was a fire. How does that even happen? There was a flood and a major fire at the same time. All this have happened, right? And then the Attorney General actually writes, get the facts clear. The Attorney General wrote, indicating and acknowledging that yes, this account is the subject of a garnishing order. However, under the peculiar circumstances that we find ourselves in, I am authorizing the monies to be removed and spent in this way. The question I was going to ask Madam Appiagyei if she had come on today, and maybe we can still get the opportunity to ask her, if not today, maybe another day. But I think this is actually a story that's on its way out. Because like I said, it infuriates some people. Question I was going to ask is, has the money been misused? Is there any issue with how the money was used? Otherwise, How do you call for the firing of an attorney general because he ordered money to be used for suffering people? Let's put all the legalese and all the other stuff aside. I don't want to call it BS because it really isn't BS unless the parliamentarians turn it to be BS. There is a garnishing order on the account. However, people are suffering. Listen, I saw a video where a whole bus was swept under the bridge. People have lost things. And then the Attorney General, sanctions, taking money off an account that is under garnishing order. However, the Attorney General acknowledges that this is the case. However, this is exceptional circumstances. So these are the people for who, let me ask this question. What purpose was the garnishing order supposed to serve, if not for the people? Now, if it's for the people, these are the same people to who the money is going to go to provide relief. My big question, was that money misused? Was it misappropriated? Was it embezzled? If so, then yes, I'm with that press conference. Then I want to hear some more of it. If not, this is nonsense. Because you are saying, in effect, Madam APJ and your people, that taking money out of any account whatsoever to assist suffering people of the nation is wrong. I have a problem with that. And maybe, like I said, if you had been on the interview, then you would have explained why you think this is such a bad idea. Otherwise, why does this even call for the resignation of the Attorney General? And now, before I wrap up, let me say this. There's some very heavy stuff going on that we hear nothing about. Nothing at all about, right? Do you ever hear the Parliament raising any issue about Ghana's relationship with the AES? Never. They're not even thinking about that. Do you ever hear the minority raising issues regarding how our data is handled? Recently, Ghana denied or refused, right, a deal with the United States in which the United States was asking for Ghana to practically hand over our medical data to them. Ghana refused to do that. I think that the Ghanaian government deserves applause for that. But besides the applause, and let the applause be short, because I'm not trying to praise anybody here. I'm just saying that they did the right thing by refusing to hand over our medical data for a pittance of $11 billion or something to that effect, right? Did you hear anything about this in Parliament? No. And these are pressing issues. But all we hear are things that don't even have any foundation. NPP, you're doing too many of these press conferences. And when you do that, that may serve a purpose of maybe gingering up your base. But for some of us who want to see some real opposition going on, for some of us who want to see actual fire being put to the feet of the government, rather than some false flag that keeps getting waved in our faces all the time, I think we have to brace ourselves together and deal with more serious issues. What is our food security situation? The last I checked, some companies were trying to gain authorship over our food supplies. Monsanto and Syngenta and all these people, they're trying to introduce GMO into our food system. They have succeeded to a certain degree. What's the status of that? I never hear that brought about in Parliament. And then I hear about, Attorney General sanctioned $350 to do what? Not to chop, but to aid flood victims. And for that, he should be fired. That is bullshit, with all due respect. My name is Kwesi Esuan Baako. I come in peace. I never come to please. Madam APJ, if you're available, I would still love to speak with you about this. Maybe you can change my mind. Maybe. Just maybe. Thank you very much. We're going to cut across to Studio 2 for our next interview. Until then, once again, my name is Kwesi Esuan Baako. If you don't see me again, I'll see you next week with another episode, God willing. Thank you very much. Studio 2, please take over. Cut to a commercial break and take over, please. Thank you very much.
blood of the slain will never be in vain.
Never.
No. We don't want to see no more people dying. Zion, Yahweh. Whoa. Zion, Yahweh. Whoa. Zion, Yahweh. Whoa. Zion, Yahweh. Yo, listen, man. My name is Ja, beloved. You can call me Kwesi back when the occasion calls for it. You are watching iCulture TV. Keep it locked. iCulture TV. Africa. From an African perspective.
Welcome to Tucson Hotel, your ultimate home away from home. Located in the serene town of Ejisu Echakrum, just off the Jabin Road, we offer you a haven of comfort and luxury. Step into our fully air-conditioned 40 bedrooms, where modern elegance meets convenience. Whether you choose our normal, standard, deluxe standard, or executive rooms, each one is equipped with Wi-Fi and DSTV, ensuring that you stay connected and entertained throughout your stay. Indulge your taste buds at our exquisite bar and restaurant, where our skilled chefs prepare a wide range of culinary delight to satisfy every palate. From local delicacies to international favorites, we have something for everyone. Planning a business meeting or a special event? Look no further than our state-of-the-art conference hall with a capacity to accommodate 80 to 100 people. It is the perfect venue for your corporate gatherings or social celebrations. But that's not all. We proudly boast the largest recreational center in the Ejisu municipality. With a capacity to accommodate up to 2,000 people, it is the ideal location for concerts, weddings, and other grand events. It comes with 4 fully air-conditioned bedrooms and a kitchen as one package. Our luxury cars are also available for rent. Drive like a boss. To experience true hospitality and unmatched comfort, contact us today. Our friendly staff is ready to assist you. You can reach us at 0244 654 458, 0246 505 327, or 0241 418645. You can also email us at info@tucsonhotel@gmail.com. Tucson Hotel, your home away from home.
Blood of the slain will never be in vain.
Never.
No. I don't want to see no more people dying. Zayana Yahweh. Whoa. Zayana Yahweh. Whoa. Zayana Yahweh. Whoa, Zayana Yahweh. Yo, listen, man. My name is Ja, beloved. You can call me Kwesi back when the occasion calls for it. You are watching iCulture TV. Keep it locked. iCulture TV. Africa. From African perspective.
All right, thank you very much. I don't know if you can hear me. Thank you very much if you can for holding. I think we're still having some challenges with the audio in Studio 2. What I'm going to do is, because our guest has been in the green room for quite a while, I'm going to start engaging with him. And Studio 2, when you get it together, please let me know so I can have Mbak take over the interview. But for now, let me go straight and go speak with Dr. Kofi Blankson, who is a hopeful for the vice chairman position in the NDC in the central region. Studio 2, please. I'm keeping an eye on the team chat. If everything goes good, let me know so I can hand over the interview back to Mbak. But for now, let me go speak with Dr. Kofi Blankson, vice presidential hopeful for the National Democratic Congress in the Central Region. Doc Kofi, right? Me who's I mean for doctor and I said lawyer and I said, can we morph the two together? You know, law doc, something like that, doc law, something like that. And how are you? Sir? I tried to say.
I'm pretty good, my brother. I'm pretty good. Ja, beloved. I'm good. I hope you're good too.
I am very good. Thank you very much for asking. So sorry, but we seem to having a bit of a challenge in Studio 2. As soon as we're able to go through, I'll give you your host so they can ask you the questions that they have actually prepared for you. But for my part, right, I'm very curious. Lawyer, doctor, politician, of course, right? And then now you want to be the vice president, not the vice president, vice chairman of the National Democratic Congress in the Central Region. What's the motivation, lawyer? Oh.
Thank you very much, my brother, Jah Beloved. We are created to be the keeper of our brothers. And you won't acquire such knowledge and then keep it to yourself. In fact, I've been a former MCE, and I know what I did, and the people know what I did. And I'm sure when I become the vice chairman of the party in the Central Region, I can do better than what I did previously.
Okay, so if somebody asks, right, what would you say? Because it's one thing working, having all these qualifications. It's another thing maneuvering the fine detail of Ghanaian politics. And we know that when it gets to politics, yes, degrees are very valuable, but also there are some people who may not have these degrees, but who are very astute at politics, apart from the degrees. Are you also cut for that position in terms of your, daily engagements with the politics of your area?
Yeah, right. I told you earlier, I have been the MC for Asin Central, and I know the grounds very well. I know the grievances and all the needs of the people, at least most of them. And I'm also well engaged with the people from the region, various parts of the region. I know we have farmers, we have fishermen, and we have students on all kinds of people in the region. And I know what their needs are. Now I've been engaging with them. So I think I have what it needs to take this position, and I will take it by the bull or by the horn. I will take the bull by the horn when I'm given the opportunity.
Awesome. Now, when you take the Central Region, Doc, it's one of those regions that's nobody's region, so to speak, right? Other people say it's a swing region. It can go anywhere it decides to. And that can be a good thing in so many ways, because it means that they actually are looking at policy, they are looking at issues to vote. Sometimes maybe not, because they may also be looking at tribe, geography, whatnot, I'm not sure. But looking at the Central Region, looking at where you stand, what do you think is unique for you to hold, or what do you think is your selling proposition to hold the Central Region for the National Democratic Congress? What are you going to do to make sure that your party doesn't lose it to the NPP or any other party for that matter?
You put it very right that the Central Region is a swing region. You know the reason why? Central Region is the hub of education and intellectuality in the country. And people are open-minded. People from the Central Region are open-minded, and they go with policies. They go with ideas. They don't just vote. That is why they always vote where the policy is right. And the NDC, with our president, John Dramani Mahama Kredi, in the affairs, who is putting things right. You look at the economy was in tatters. But overall, with the current finance minister and the addition of the vice president and all those in charge, you can realize that the nation in general is on the right footing economically. And Central Region is a region which doesn't, is not parochial. The people from the Central Region are well equipped with knowledge and ideas, and they look at the policies that is brought on. And I'm very sure that if these policies go right down with the people, the NDC is going to hold on to power come 2028.
That's awesome. How do you see your chances? Let me ask. And you can throw this in for me as well. Why didn't you go for the chairmanship? Why did you opt for vice chairman? And what do you think are your chances there? And by the way, before you answer that, I'll be bringing Mbak on to take over the interview. I think they're ready. Mbak, please stand by. After this question, I'm going to bring you on to take over your interview. So please stand by. after this question, you should be ready to take over your interview. Thank you very much. Please, Doc, answer that for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. You know, as I said earlier, I have been a previous municipal chief executive, and people from Asen, in particular Asen Central, know my works that I did. And the people from Central Region in general know me. I have been interacting with the people from Central Region. And, you know, anytime you want to enter into any race, you have to weigh your chances, and you have to look at where your works will be needed. And I know we have a very credible chairman who has done pretty well for the party in increasing our number of presidential seats. This is not a time to go fight a chairman like that. You rather complement such a chairman. So my position is to complement our current chairman so that I will back him strongly and we can implement the good policies that earn us this number of seats so that we can shore up the number of seats and do a lot of good work for the Central Region and for the nation at large.
That's fantastic. And I'm going to bring Mbak on now to take on over the interview. Mbak, if you're ready, please stand by. We're adding you to the interview now. And I would like you to ask one question. Make sure we have your audio sorted out before I leave. So Mbak, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Mbak? I still cannot hear you. Newsroom, I think, is muted. Can you unmute him and make sure his settings are okay? Can you hear us, Mbak? Newsroom, his mic is on mute. Please unmute and back, and let's have him talk so we can see if he's ready for me to. I have an invitation to go eat TZ at a neighbor's house.
Wow,
I want to take over your interview so I can go eat my TZ. Can you hear us?
I wish I could be there with you.
Still can't hear us? Let me put
yes,
you
please.
On the oh, you can hear us now. Oh, 1 second.
Please, can you hear me?
Hear us now. Emma, you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
One moment. Doc, please hold on for me.
Brother Kwesi.
Newsroom, let me handle this from here for a second. Okay, I'll hand over to you, but let me handle this from here. One moment.
All right. Okay.
There we go.
Yes,
and
please.
I am going to jump off. Emma, you can hear me now, right?
Hello.
You can hear me, right, Emma?
Okay. Hello, doctor.
Okay.
Yes,
Doc, you can hear Emma, right?
Yo, doctor,
I can hear you quite clear.
All right. So
Thank you very much, Emma.
I'm going to jump off the interview. Thank you very much.
It's been a while. Where have you been?
You know, as a servant of the government, I've been at Tema, working with the Ghana Health Service, delivering quality services to the nation. And I do come around once in a while. Currently, I'm in Fusu, taking care of some issues. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think I've heard that you are going for vice chairman for the region. And like Kwesi asked, why did you opt for the vice chairmanship? Because instead of maybe going for the chairmanship, I think you really spoke well. So I just want to ask you, there are several concerns about unity in the NDC, particularly in some of the constituencies like Kaswa and even Fusu. Fusu's problem has been resolved. Let's say it has been resolved. So as an aspiring vice chairman, what are the measures that you would put in place to forestall any future problems in the party, in the region?
Thank you very much, Mbak. Let me take this opportunity to say a very good evening or good afternoon to our president, the national chairman, Johnson Esedu Nketia, the regional chairman, Professor Dr. Esedu, and also our assistant central chairman, Babagariba, who is currently the MCE. You know, in every family, there are bound to be issues. But when issues happen or they do crop up, they need to be solved. Nothing can be done to solve any problem unless you talk. You know, and in organizing a party, you need a bottom-up approach, reorganization. So as the NDC does, we don't pick our presidential candidates before going to pick our branch executives. So what we do is that you organize the party from the bottom. So the branch executives are put in place, and then they put in place the constituency to region, and then region to national. Then you say that you are doing all inclusive, but you don't go up and then you come down. That is not the right thing to do. I think so.
Okay.
So
thank you very much.
I'll opt for a bottom-up approach rather than what do you call it. And then we also involve our party elders who have institutional memory. You know, they have institutional memory and they know how problems have been solved. So anytime there are things like that, we do involve them, and they come in with handy solutions to the resolution of any conflict. But I'm sure that we are going to surmount any of these issues at any time when they need be.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Like you and I are aware, the youths are the backbone of every political party. Looking at our population structure, so we have the youth are many. I think they are more than even the old ones, and then the young ones as well. I'm talking about the toddlers, but the youth. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What do you have in place to retain the youths and even the women in active party roles in the region?
Thank you very much, Membak. You know, affirmative action is a very instrumental tool to use in any society, especially in ours where you tend to find men occupying most of the positions. So we need to make sure that women are given the opportunity to also occupy certain positions so that their voices could be heard. And our youth, in particular, they need jobs. They need to be employed. And I don't think there's enough positions for everybody when it comes to government works. So that is why the government is coming up with these programs like Nkukwa Kitenkete and other things to make sure that people who are not able to get employment with the government can get something to do to keep them going. And when they have something doing, they will always come following the party and make sure that the party retains power. And I'm sure that is what the government is doing.
Okay. Honorable, as a former MC, we know your track record and what you did during your tenure. And I know you must have, known some of the problems that the region is facing. If you be candid enough, could you please tell us 3 biggest, problems facing the region and how you intend to resolve those problems?
Some of the problems of the region, I think we have an issue with employment, jobs. Jobs are very big issues, and it is not even the region alone. It is the entire nation. The youth need jobs. The youth need jobs. So the country, the president, and the people who support the president or his advisors are doing everything possible to make sure that jobs are secured. For instance, the Commander Sugar Factory, which was started and couldn't be, was commissioned, but it started with the production of sugar and it was left abandoned. Work is ongoing to make sure that this Commander Sugar Factory comes on board. And when it comes to the fisher folks, what they need is premixed fuel. And there's transparency in making sure that these fishermen or fisher folks get equal access to premise fuel. And our farmers, you know, this central region, we have the coastal zone and also the forest zone. The forest zone, we have farmers, cocoa farmers in particular. And in the previous John Mahama government, there used to be sharing of fertilizer for free, cocoa seedlings for free, which was abandoned, and now we are back. Fertilizer is being given so that these farmers will be able to, you know, do well with their yield, and this is going to affect the production of cocoa, and it will yield, shore up our production of cocoa. So when we're able to do all these things, including others, then we are going to make sure that everybody will be in good standing. Thank you very much. Hello, my brother. I'm back.
No apologies for that. I think they're having internet issues in Studio 2. I noticed that you were by yourself. I decided to just come on. And actually, there are some couple questions I was going to ask you before. Studio 2, when you're ready, please let me know so Mbak can rejoin. And also, Rootsman, please get ready for agriculture. If we have KB, please get ready for arts and culture and all the other ones. Prince, please get ready to line up the shows as they should appear. But Mbak, if you're ready, please rejoin so we can have you complete or conclude your interview with Doc. But Doc, Central Region, yes. Right?
Yes.
The right. NDC is in government now, and they're looking at certain key things that can be done to see that, okay, they can be maintained in power. What currently do you see the NDC doing is going to make a good case, not for you within your party, but for your party on the national level?
On the national level, appointments of directors to certain positions must be regional or geographically balanced. You know, because when you have people from all these areas, then all hands will be put on deck so that the work will be done in a very coordinative manner, so that we can win votes from all the various parts of the country, including Central Region, and including Asin Central in particular. You know, a lot of votes come from Asin Central, but it happens that most of the appointments, a lot of Asin Central don't get anything. But I'm hoping that with time, there are going to be some appointees from the Central Region and in particular Asin Central to make sure that people are motivated. And motivation, you know, will give people the energy to make sure that the power is retained. And I'm sure the president is a listening president who will listen to this, some of these concerns.
Okay, and charity, they say, begins at home. What do you have to tell the people of Asin to support you for your bid? And once you are voted in as a vice chair of the National Democratic Congress? what would that
Thank you very
portend
much.
for Asin and by extension the Central
Asin
region?
Central, Asin and Asin Central in particular, you know, you have tasted me, and you know my qualities. I don't take the lion's share. I make sure that things go to the ground. And when I'm the vice chairman, I make sure that people from Asin and Central region, and in particular, everybody gets their own piece of share when it comes to recruitment to the various, security agencies and other parts of government where we put in our efforts to make sure that every region is equally represented. That's what I'm going to do.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Doc. We wish you all the best, all the very best in your endeavors.
Central and Central region, we need a lot of roads. Our roads are very, very important to us. When it comes to Asin Central in particular, our township roads are something that I'm very, very particular about. I am fighting to be the vice chairman for Central region, but I don't neglect where my roots are, Asin Fusu and Asin in particular. Charity begins from home, as you said, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to include every part of the Central region and Asin Central in particular, because we have a lot of bad township roads which needs to be worked on. And I'm telling my people from Asin Central that they should support me. And when I'm supported and I get there, I'll make sure that they are not forgotten.
Nice. And you, as you said, Asin Central has tasted you before. You are credited with some of the, the development projects in Asin and all of that. And I think you definitely have something on your CV to show. We wish you all the best for your bid to be the vice chair of the National Democratic Congress. We hope that that brings great change, not just to Asin Central, but to the Central region and to Ghana by extension. And we wish you all the best in your political career, Doc.
Thank you for having me, my brother. Kulcha. Keep
Thank
it locked.
you very much. Yes, indeed. And we would also like you to know that this is your home, Doc. Anytime you have anything to tell us, or to tell the world, or to tell your constituents, to tell whoever, please make it a point to make this the first point of call to do so.
I appreciate it, my brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Greetings.
And we will be checking in with you on your tour. I believe you'll be touring the Central region before the D-Day. We will definitely be following you around to bring your tour and your messages to your listeners and everybody else. Thank you very much. Dr. Lawyer Kofi Blankson, Vice Chair Hopeful for the National Democratic Congress. Thank you so much. Okay, so this has been Studio 2's interview coming from Studio 1. All good. Thank you very much. Mbak, I'm not sure if you're still available to continue, but I'm going to bounce off now. I believe that we can at least go with Rootsman coming in with agriculture. Please give me a signal if you can, Rootsman. I can see in the green room. Can you give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go with agriculture? Are we ready? We're going to go for a short commercial break. When we come back, Studio 2. Thank you very much.
Fish Grill, Ghana's best kept culinary secret.
Good evening and welcome to Radio Culture. You live every Sunday evening. Today, we're going to do episode 2 of the poultry production. And in this episode, we're going to treat nutrition, feeding, and management. Okay, so welcome back to our poultry production series. Today, we focus on one of the most important aspects of poultry farming, which is feeding and management. We start with the importance of good nutrition. Feed accounts for about 60 to 70% of the total cost of production. When you go into poultry production, the feed alone takes about 60 to 70% of the total cost involved. Poor nutrition, if you don't give them proper food to eat and stuff like that, this is what you're going to get from poor nutrition. Slow growth. Your birds will not grow the way they're supposed to grow. Okay, so yeah, with the poor nutrition, the sort of things you are going to get out of poor nutrition is one, slow growth. Your animals will not grow the rate at which they are supposed to grow. Low egg production. You're not going to get the number of eggs that you would have normally had if you have done things right. Poor immunity. Poor immunity, that means the birds will be susceptible to all kinds of diseases. They can get sick anytime because the cleanliness is not the nutrition is not there because they're not getting what the body is supposed to take and then develop normally. And then high mortality. High mortality, that means you will be experiencing a lot of deaths because they are not healthy. They will be dying in droves. Nutrients required by poultry. If you want to go into poultry, yes, the food that you give them, it contains all kinds of nutrients. The first one and the major one is carbohydrates because that forms the major part of the feed. And normally, carbohydrate provides energy for the animals. And normally, we get this from maize, wheat, sorghum, and cassava. We also have proteins. These are needed for egg formation. And we normally get this from soya bean, fish meal, groundnut cake, etc. And then the fats and oils. Fats and oils provide concentrated energy, give the animal that extra boost that they need. And then the vitamins also come in to support growth and disease resistance. layers. They start with the chick mash. You feed them with the chick mash from day 1 up to 8 weeks. After the 8th week, you change to the grower mash. Grower mash, you feed them from 8 weeks up to 18 weeks. And then finally, the layer mash. The layer mash, that one, you feed them when they start laying until their very last days. And that one contains extra calcium, eggshell formation. I'm talking about the layer mash. Now we go to the broiler starter. Like we did last week, we said we had different kinds of poultry. We have layers. Layers are red basically for eggs. Broilers are red basically for meat. So with the broilers too, they have a broiler starter, which you start feeding them from day 1 up to 4 weeks. Then after 4 weeks, you give them the broiler finisher, which you feed them until they are ready for the market. We now come to feed management. With the feeding management, you need to feed the birds at regular times. You don't feed them today at 2 o'clock, tomorrow at 5, the next day at 7. No, it has to be regular. And then they say avoid sudden feed changes. That is a very big issue in poultry. If you suddenly change, let's say the feed you've been giving them comes from Dakon farms. You run out and then suddenly you go to Acrobato farms and then you bring some feed from there. There's a lot of risk in that. The sudden change, personally, I've witnessed it. It affects the laying of eggs. It like drastically reduces the number of eggs laid, because what happens is the birds have to take some time to get used to the new feed that you've introduced. It says remove spoiled feed. Yes, whenever you come in, you see any feed that is not wholesome, get it out as soon as possible. Make sure you clean your feeders daily. The feeders are what the structures that the animals feed from. At times they will drop they put their droppings in the feeder as well. So you need to clean them constantly to prevent contamination. Brooding management. Brooding refers to the caring for chicks during their first weeks in the poultry. The things that you require for brooding is warmth or a source of heat. I think we spoke about this last week. And then feed. That's one you definitely need, because as they're in the brooder house, you need to eat. Water, adequate space, and clean litter. When we talk about litter, litter is the material that we put in the poultry house. Normally, it's wood shavings, but there are other things that you can also use as litter. There are signs of proper brooding. If you want to see that your brooder house is really going the way it should go, these are things that you notice. The chicks are always active. The chicks are always active. They are evenly distributed in the brooder house. They are not concentrated at one place, and then they feed normally. Litter management. Good litter materials include, like I said earlier, on wood shavings, rice husk, and chopped straw as well can also be used as a source of litter. And then this litter should be dry, clean, and free from mold. Wet litter encourages diseases. Now we come to lighting. Lighting stimulates feeding and egg production. Layers require approximately 16 hours of light daily during production. Then record keeping. You need to maintain records of the following. 1, mortality. In case you lose any bird, you need to record it so that you can be able to use it in your final analysis when you are trying to see whether you made a profit or not. You need to record the feed intake. How much feed do you feed the animals per day? You need to pay attention to vaccination records. Yes, anytime that you vaccinate them, you need to record it so that you don't repeat vaccinations, because some of them, a repetition could be fatal. Record sales, expenses, as well as profit. Good records help farmers make informed decisions. So to end this episode, we'll end by saying good feeding and proper management determine whether poultry farming becomes profitable. Join us next time as we discuss disease prevention, marketing, and profitability. So yes, we've come to the end of this presentation, but as we do always, I will take some time to briefly go through what we did today in the local dialects. Ahwɛfoɔ ne atiefoɔ yɛda mo ase bebree sɛ ɛnnɛ so moanya berɛ aba radio culture ɛne iCulture TV so ɛne ɛbɛdi yɛadwuma no a yɛne mu di no kwasi da biara no sɛdeɛ yɛyɛ last week no yɛka yɛ started poultry yɛakyekye mmiɛnsa yɛyɛ baako last week nti ɛndɛ no yɛyɛ deɛ ɛtoa so mmienu no ɛndɛ deɛ yɛyɛ no broni se feeding, nutrition and management. Yɛhwɛ sɛdeɛ yɛbɛma mmoa no aduane ɛna yɛde aduane ma ɔmo a ɛde bɛyɛ no aduane no ɛyɛ ɛma mmoa no na afei so management ɛkwan a yɛfa so yɛde bɛtoto noma yie ɛma biribiara akɔ so pɛpɛɛpɛ. Nti edi kan no yɛfrɛ no sɛn abɛɛfo mpɛnsɛmpɛnsɛm ɛma yɛhu sɛ aduane no woyɛ poultry a sika a wɔde bɛhyɛ poultry no mu no wokyɛ mu edu a emu bɛyɛ 6 kɔpem 7 no ɛbɛkɔ aduane ka nko ano no nti hɔ na ka no ne kɛseɛ ɛwɔ na sɛ wanhwɛ no wammɔ mu aduane no yie so a esunsuanso no bi a ɛde ba ne sɛ broni slow growth ɛmoa no ɔmo nyi sɛdeɛ ɛwɔ sɛ ɔmo nyi no ɔmo bɛyɛ nketenkete, low egg production kosua no so ɛmba te sɛ deɛ ɛwɔ sɛ ɛba no. Poor immunity no kyerɛ sɛ yare ebitumi bɔ no by heart onni ade ɛwɔ ne mu ɔde ko yareɛ ɛna high mortality ɔmo bɛwu by heart. Na yɛde saa aduane ma ɔmo no a ɛma ɔmo noma mmiɛnsa ɛnyɛ mmiɛnsa like mainly na yɛ mmiɛnsa but mmienu bi so extra hɔ broni fɛ bi carbohydrate no aduane a yɛde ma ɛmoa no ne kɛseɛ no ɛyɛ carbohydrate nti no biribi te sɛ eburo, wheat, sorghum ɛne bankye ɛno mu no yɛnya carbohydrate na yɛde feed ɛmoa no. Yɛfiri hɔ no a ɛba protein no yɛ fɛn ne sɛ te sɛ ɛnam ne adeɛ no but mostly no with wei no poultry no yɛnya fi soya bean ɛna fish a yɛwɔ fish meal ɔmo ɛhata na ɔmo ayɛ no powder nti yɛde fra eburo no ne ana ama different ones kakra afei yɛde ayɛ ɔmo aduane no. Afei fats and oils yɛwɔ bibi sɛ angwa na ade kakra a ɛyɛ essential yɛde bɛfra ɔmo aduane because ɛma no concentrated energy ɛna normal vitamins and minerals no so ɛno so yɛde bɛfra yɛde ama ɔmo. Afei biribi edu no yɛ nsuo ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ nsuo ɛho hia nkasa ɛno yɛ about the most important because sɛ wama ɔmoa no ɛnyɛ nsuo papa yɛfi nsuo no so a yɛkɔ types of poultry feed aduane no yɛwɔ no different types nti sɛ woyɛ layer sɛ last week no yɛyɛ difference no sɛ ɛba ne sɛ woyɛ layer ɔmo a woyɛ ɔmo for kosua no a aduane a wɔde ma ɔmo no first aduane yɛfrɛ no chick mash wode ma ɔmo feed ɛda a ɔde ɔmo bɛba kosi na wɔtwe ɛnwɔtwe ɛdɔm bɛkɔ na wɔtwe efi na wɔtwe no yɛbɛba grower mash no ɛno wode bɛma ɔmo fiti na wɔtwe no ɛkɔpem na wɔtwe du wɔtwe 18 weeks ɛna efi 18 weeks no wobɛma ɔmo layer mash layer mash no eno friend is saying what about mama copying bra obey your mofi defense support a bra mo tuni na no you'll be giving them the friends saying layer mash no if you are na yaba broiler for no so omo so ye no omo de ye for enam no we didn't come on broiler starter if you a dana would omo beba no we broilers last week e tell mo say omo no omo nche omo enche bebre enti no a friend saying omo no by 8 weeks omo are ready enti no what they starter no ebe mo from da omo beba no kopim na what 3 and 9 which is bosom ba ko enti if bosom ba ko e ko no your broiler finisher now the finisher no so e da ma omo akopim bra omo be fi e market no okay and it is be able to say feeding management said they be see akrakra said your mom would and no matter say yeah and no matter say and say or see brony feed birds at regular intervals mom would making sure say time you know at down time that time I would feed them men feed them on there 2 o'clock additional 7 additional about 12 now there be m1 I feel so feeding at the mom no we say wato mmoano wo feed them wo baby I will feed wo feed them maybe one day wo kwai no wo friends saying dealer no oni feed ni bi nti na o so koto feed baby foforo nti we you know all of a sudden na e be to me at the shock ama mmoano I say we be some feed no kra e gradually nti no the war hoarded and no me man nsa kra ansa na foforo na wo da aba no wo da aba nti na we introduce the film kakra but we you know all of a sudden na at the shocks ebe bro mu ana ukom so na hu se aduane bia wo ma asaya make sure say we ye film tentem me man enche wo mu kra ana the amudidi wo mu no feeders no hu se emwa de sebi nyasa no ente se nipa omutumi eja mu nan egu the amudidi mu na so nti no make sure say de bia no we clean mu na ebe prevent yare na de se beba brooding management ne eno ne kire ye do mo ba fresh na muso mo suso mo ntakra no krampo nheda ye nti ye do mo sie baby kakra for some weeks e mo mo efefe fans na ye ja mo egu main poultry no mu nti no o answer na be ye sa de no wo hia a source of heat e be the bulb ya omo low one ba fom na ne heat no aye e bi so okwa ye nkras na na chromo on light no to fa bulb wo hin nti omo de your friend is saying lantern ya use that na ana owo ho no obedidi obenum nsuo na make sure say space ni so okay ya omo ho nchire omo ana later sawdust wood shavings now they go from one so make sure say no so clean say we yes ade we ni na ade abehu wo mu say emwa no hu say omo ya active omo ni nam ho omo dia grow fine omo spread ewo brother house no mu omo enka omo hu mbu afa ako ena omo didi normal yefi eno so ayeba later management you can later ade na odigu poultry dining mu ema mwa no betina mu no normally no wood shavings but for people I can sawdust but wood shavings into sa normal no friend say bibi to say emu no no say me who am sick and tree cry ye bi haske ye yi emu tete no and so omo to me the year later to me the go dan ma your friend say enoma no nkoko no eda so afi so straw ye normal green grass your friend say oh cha ncheche na de no and so to me twitwa e de ye e dry no mo da ye your friend say we be na sa when now the be go honum no also make sure say one dry emu no awo neat if be anim na fi free from mold your friend saying true because emu fortunate na the yareba okay lighting emu no ehia kanea esan ekwan ho so edidi ninti no omo hia kanea for most part of the day wo hwe baby to say layers omo amoto kosiana every day no here at least 16 hours sunlight and not sunlight like light out of 24 hours and go down mine no go here light go 16 hours out of that if you want to the beba so record keeping aha de bia mesre na obia a chen na so metie ni because Ghana, that is one of our problems. You keep records. Into no, you said who business in ye say ye boka say ye nyam faso. No be no but me who say me hear me production no. Friend is saying and wabe 1,000 de buy maybe 20 in a year. Afe adeba sa obeye record on feed intake eduane dodo a ode ma omo no eno so obeye ho records vaccination ha say ehun hia papa vaccination empane na edo wo emboa no ehun hia say obe keep records no pa because one hwe ye when keep records a ebia wa ko repeat the same vaccine no friend say na e de insusan so boni aba egg production Koshana abuana eto no I say we find so records sales utun ton o normal say kokona beton say Koshana beton and so you make sure say your friend is saying why you so records expenses sika spend o to egg crate o fa abobo ya ni na I say record ntu we ni na the boma and no never trouble who say when your profit and I say when your profit ntino record keeping a very friend is saying integral like huge part of any poultry production basically any enterprise enti ya church no ebesi nyame adoma next week no ya beye your friend saying say ebesi akon yare na say ebesi aton ya normal marketing any profitability no said ye be ye adwuma is be ma yenya emfaso ewom enti etiefo ne ahwefo na ende ye de ye program ye friend no agriculture ewo agriculture TV any radio culture no ye de be si dasane e be sane mo hia bio medamuni na ase bye bye.
The blaster team no yen kakra ba o yen kakra meboa eja dey ya adey na unya botresa who distract me distraction bay The blaster team no yen kakra ba o yen kakra meboa eja dey ya Ade, now you have Tressa.
You have to say, who distracting me?
Distraction, bay. The blaster team no, crack, Rabao. Crack, Meboa.
Eja, there. Ade,
now you have Tressa.
you have to say, who distracting me?
Distraction, bay. The blaster team no, crack, Rabao. Crack, Meboa.
Eja, there. Ade,
now you have Tressa.
you have to say, who distracting me?
Distraction, bay.
Welcome back. This is iCulture TV and Radio Culture. We're live on GH News Now. I have sent for Sugana and the OCCR. It's the Ujoni, not a comment, so after I say a comment section as an affair. The OJ fashion who be an answer, we have saw do our chair, baby. A quiet at the home, made the embark, the general. Now, and come out entertainment, say, I do arts and culture. Now, over Ghana, ha, and semi brain, a tragu, sa, now what you will so. Some of the kind social media influencer, a friend Abu Trika. The deep part Shadakam, Fred Kumi. Now, Nanzele Betu just say, while running a romance can be alpha to the fraud the elderly Americans are over $8 million. And then this car almost to say a romance scammer, Abu Trika to me. And I'm so much to say, what boo a young coffee be alpha some American citizens. Now, penny for how do I am online dating near day. And I'm so I run it be yet now courts are bar billion now quaba. And I'll treat the buy and say, what could be more court be now? Not seven. Those are more finalized BBR. Now the better than say extradition and Yambaso. They had enough Ghana. I didn't call a year United States. You could in us oh. Now proud to that, no one can sign a lawyer, a Oliver, Baka, Voma will be cast. I say, when you access to the clients in proud to the extradition, no, and see now a idea a hanopa. Now before a no crown, would the kind of interview be lawyer near interview be about Captain Smarts, a interview on Frederick Kumi, which I would trick. I'm out for I say, will be our some more courts. I don't know to be courts now here on your TV, so now your interview. My brother was some that's what courts are. Case is a high profile case. I bet to me extradited to America. Until why do you grant an interview? My brother was some course. Now, lawyer Oliver, Eddie Nkoma Cranny, and say, lawyer. Now, when the mark coins are about to crown courts now a year Captain Smart programs no Kokasa because okay, and them say, do not say, no, they give you away. It's a lawyer Oliver. Back a year back at Vomao. Okay, in Zaka a year and then why, but watch your moon. And some a Oliver back at Vomao, so our year council, Abutrika, Elbra, Ghana Hanu, and so the two. Yeah, small kind of say, be no man, the client to quite say, radio so on our TV. A quick interview, a bra was some all courts. And repair me and second video net so now Moti as some lawyer a kind. Away from that, you caught your nim kakra. Now your more movie industry, what Ghana. Nisaka Brown, a year veteran actor, Ghana. Nisaka Brown, Eden Sembia Chuja, unse Ghana movie industry, and say a declining kakra. Because a new mark of fame, say a big dino credit a my one. And you mark of them, no, so I interview a crown or dear to just say. You need to say Kuma wood, it will bring him out and who call Domi or more. There's only Kuma out for Jumagakra, a Kumasi based movie industry, no. Was that they had to say, at the Dawson, insults and quan, I say, a coso. Do you hear more dialogues now? It's mostly insults, and since this year so lengthy as the what. Since the what, Nipa Kono, Bano, Casano, say now the dear term. Was this idea so can be Nama, a local industry in Swakofem because Obi and co markets in Brem Buffy so Baby movie. No Baby do not for Beshe movie. Attend the Dean Kwania, the idea is I bet fun a month for. Think of why I fed up a movie to a day say and no, and a can be partly am I a movie industry in Swakofem because dialogues the insults no a does one hard pa. Ni Saka Brown so ensema or the atu edra and no. Now said the video near ready. na mabɔ ama yɛ for sɛ nyɛ ready nso na yɛbɛkɔ a next story ne so a nsɛm baako a ɛsa wɔ industry no mu ayɛ ready a yɛnkɔ tim anaasɛ okay yɛnkɔ yɛnim nti mede bɛtoa so ne sɛ sesei ntɔkwa baako bi asɔre wɔ asɔfoɔ akɛseɛ mmienu nso wɔ Ghana ha ɛyɛ Ebenezer Dakwa Yiadom anaasɛ Ebenezer Adakwa Yiadom dodoɔ no frɛ no ɔpamboɔ ɛsɔfo kɛseɛ pa wɔ Ghana ha na ɔyɛ obi a ɔsan so de gye ani sɛdeɛ ɔtumi ne ho yɛ nika ɔyɛ obi a woyi nyame asɛm a wɔka to nkyɛn a ɔne nipa ɔma nipa sere ɔde sɛ deɛ hyɛ nipa afono mu ane ɔsɔfo baako nso wɔ Ghana ha ɔno nso ɛfrɛ no sɔfo Adom Kyedua ɔda Philadelphia asafo n'ano na ɔno nso yɛ obi a ɔno nso ɛka nyame asɛm wɔnom nyɛ asɔfo a meyi sɛ mepɛ ɔmo asɛm paa nso na ɔtwe ntɔkwa bi a ɔmo ko ano den ɛnam so ma bɛwura entertainment industry no mu ne nyinaa ne sɛ Ghana Black Stars yɛkɔ ɛyɛ World Cup yɛ a amfa no yɛkɔ anyɛ yɛ no nyinaa ɛnam so ma Philadelphia asɔfo Adom Kyedua yɛ sɛ ɔno deɛ mpayɛ ne nneɛma a wayɛ no deɛ ɔgye di sɛ Ghana ebedi nkonim ɔbrɛ ne Panama ne ade ɛɛbɔ na yɛbɔɔ no amfa yɛlusiiɛ nti yɛmate saa wodoɔ yɛlusiiɛ no ɛno nso amfa no nam so ma gya yɛfiri mu koraa ɔno nso kaa sɛ yɛbɛkɔ yɛ anim ana ɔpamboa bɛka sɛ ɔno nso koraa ɔbɔ mpaeɛ tie a ɔman no ɛsiane sɛ dɛ ɔpɛ so ɔhwɛ sɛ Adom Kyedua so ɔyɛ powerful a ɛbɛhwɛ nti ɔpɛ so ɔkyerɛ sɛ Adom Kyedua ɔnyɛ powers biara ɔnyɛ prophet biara because ntumi nka sɛ ɔma Ghana wei akɔ yɛ anim akɔ wei nti ɛno na de ntɔkwa aba nti wetu a na wei ato na Lewen ɛyɛ actor baako wɔ Ghana ha ɔno nso Philadelphia asɔre na ɔkɔ nti ne papa ne sɔfo Adom Kyedua na ɔno nso abɛkeka no adwene de akyerɛ ɔpamboɔ ɔdidi na tɛmpa saa na ɔpamboɔ ate asɛm no ma ɔno nso sɛ wadome Lewen wakɛse no Lewen onsɔre biom according to ɔpamboɔ sɛ Lewen deɛ yɛnte ne nka biom ɔde nhyɛberɛ ɔka asɛm bi koraa na ɔde paata huhum no nato wade asɛ agyana mu huhum nti ɛnyɛ adeɛ a Lewen ɔbɛsɔre biom na ɛno mu na Philadelphia mmeranteɛ nso ayɛ nnwom ɛde ama ɔpamboɔ nnwom no nso ɛnyɛ easy koraa a wɔde adidi n'atɛm pa saa de wei ne nsɛm ahodoɔ a trend videos no bi yɛ ready amomfa nto so bɛɛtie for basically wei ne nsɛm kakra ɛkɔ so wɔ entertainment industry no ɛwɔ Ghana art and culture ɛna wohwɛ live ɛwɔ radio culture and ITV culture anaasɛ iCulture TV 9-1 nti wobɛtumi agya comment so ɛwɔ comment section na se yɛda ase kɔ so ha na hwɛ yɛ yɛwɔ nipa pii de ma mo medin de Embark the general yɛbɛsi a
The blaster team no yɛn kakra ba o yɛn kakra meboa
Eja adaya. Adai.
Now you have a trasa.
You have a trasa. Who distract me?
Distraction by.
abusuafo ye chechi obi bia Edomobile GH News Now, YouTube GH News Now, Facebook GH News Now, TikTok. Abraso sama ne boy yaboabo no fra sentimentemu ene amanta mahodo aka ni nyina no. Yede besom se GH report. Na yebobo hwi ne de ani akire mu asantemampon primary school Roman Catholic school bia wo honom a ye frɛ no Savino RC school. Na almost say get fund project bi wo honom a eda no ye school da no asi honom finhia be ye dunkro ni 19 years. Successive government abako abayako abayaba eda no da sisi honom a get fund project no aban bia nya na dwen se ode nani ebekɔ ho. Na no na headmistress of the school na no Mrs. Dora Boama ede to aban ni His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ni ndisi aban nim se omra no mehwe nanka on complete edan no ema omo sanse yesi dan na si honom na emomaka apono ene mpomo a yede betoto edan na no ena afi nso so efom ho no nso so yede say cement ni beto agu honom a ombeto agu honom ama nkura no nso so enya ba bia sua de ama de kire ene adesua nso so akoso. Nti se newsroom ayekrado a ombo yen first interview no emfa mayen wobra na headmistress Edema Savino RC Primary School Mrs. Dora Boama no ne nsentwerefo di nkomo GH News Now so.
It is a way in penny for a share wa by mu message say get fund project e be em fie dunkuni Savino RC model primary ye wo 12-seater story building e wo ho a ya abandon no ama say criminals nko a we to kase hide out wa ha afi so ball na ye tulum ti message say baby amobi amoteme nka ye nsada nsayem esem se mo meboaye na mo complete ye dan ne maye yesu mi nya hoden ene ani die ne fa nkyra de ahom te se me kran se bu ababa school kra na esense ha ye baby e wo to sa wo school ho na reto ti wi for no bu a obenum ne wi na no classroom ho kra na akoja ne nan na nsa ne na me apani mu headmistress e me friend be ka kire me be school no pa de obi abo si wo sa ma wo sha na ani enya beti ye se de be ya eyi free ho se de be ya bibia e be koso ma de suane ade chita koso about year 2007 you government in power the buy but as a government in power no ya nesesa emfie miensa na emfie na biesesa obi aba wo so obeye omo ba no ma behwa they say no omo ye bia wiring last 2 years no my wiring e ma am no be si wura mu betwitwae me no koye police station se ma konebra o wi a wires ne brother so dem and they say casting on the floor any windows ne apona de betoto ano any painting.
Ayatini nkaya Mrs. Dora Boama or your headmistress Edema Savino RC Primary School and ayatini nkano was say get fund project I will school mo hono mo a school adam crabro san isi hono mo aban bako no aba na aban foforo aba ni nyina no enya ade a omo ede omo ni hwesa get fund project no na se tiefo ne ahwefo be kai a ena no yamra hye bedwafie na ekoto dwa se get fund project a aban
it is a way in penny for a share wa by mu message say get fund project e be em fie dunkuni Savino RC model
nipa yatini nkaya Mrs. Dora Boama a your headmistress Edema Savino RC Primary School or Asante Mampono din nsem yitudwa wobra na akyerɛkyerɛfoɔ ne mpanimfoɔ da school ya no ede 11th graduation ceremony ede hyehyɛ so ema adesuafoɔ no na sa get fund project yi dankora ho classrooms ahodo a omasiesi honom a abrosan omasiesi honom 19 years ago na aban no esisi honom anka ombenya anka aban a wɔte so mprempren His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ene na ndisi aban omubetwa omani abehwe saa project no na yabetu fa ne de ani akire mu wo bonomantam yefra santemantam ne de ani akire bromantam na na twumbere ma pau a nanka oye Achemade royal family wo kobedi Achemade no ewo bono mantemu nana abusuafoɔ ne ne ba pani ahwɛ tu nana adeɛ so yɛse nana hyase esi nkonwa bi a ɛnsɛ sɛ wosie na sɛ decision wei no obeteki sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ wɔde wei ebesi akonwa so a ɔne mpanimfoɔ nwene ho na nana gyina ne tumi so na wabobɔ nkonwa ama nkurɔfoɔ a abusuapani eni ho twaka bia ɛyɛ ɔba pani a ɔyɛ queen mother wɔ hɔ nom so onyina sutire ɛno na abusuapani a yɛfrɛ no nana Matthew Baa gyina ne tumi so ɛne wɔhema a ɔwɔ kurom hɔ nom atu ɛyɛ nana twumbarima apaw na amanebɔ no kyerɛ mu a yɛsɛ nana nso so saa de ne ho abɔ Chinafoɔ a wɔyɛ galamsey wɔ Bonomantam mu wɔn ɛwɔ mpɔtam hɔ no nana de ne ho abɔ mo na ɛno koraa de ɛnyɛ nuntira na mmom ɛyɛ gyinahyɛdeɛ biara nana bɛhyɛ biara no ɔma mpanimfoɔ asonte na nana twumbarima apaw ɛtena akonnwa so mfeɛ 45 45 years ɛna nana tena so a ɛno nti abusuapanyini nana Matthew Baa gyina ne tumi so a ɔmotu no ɛno nana Matthew ɛne nsɛntwerɛfoɔ edi nkɔmmɔ yɛntie bi. Sɛ newsroom ayɛ krado a wɔmbɔ yɛn second interview no ɛmfa ma.
Na ya hu ni sɛ nana bɛgye abu na ya hu ni sɛ nana bɛgye abu no mfeɛ 49 ni ɔnyɛ hwee wɔ ma abusua no fie kura nyinaa gugu ɔntumi yɛ ho hwee ɔyɛ bibi a ɔmɔ yɛ amaneɛ ɔwɔ si hena ayɛ yɛn kwasiafoɔ ɛntumi nyansa nti ɔnka nkyerɛ ne yɛfie ntim ne no ɛntena ɛnti ayɛ adwene sɛ nneɛma ne anyɛ no ɔnyɛ hwee wɔ ha sei ɔkyɛ sɛ nana koraa ne wɔfa wɔbɛgye akonnwa no ɔsi ɛboa no anyɛ hwee ɔsoro kyekyere bɔfoɔ bi koraa adoko koraa wɔti di no sɛ ɔnyɛ hwee a wɔso deɛ ne wayɛ dɔmaa fie no abubu aso deɛ nso abubu ɔntumi nsi yɛ naano wɔwɔ bɛsi hene wɔammɔ yɛ amaneɛ ne yɛyɛ mmɔ nsi yɛne junction abɛto so wafa akyire abɛsi nanadwo saa ne no ɛbusu sɛ yɛnti bi koraa da nti mene hema ne abakoman ne mpanyimfoɔ ɛhyɛ sɛ yɛnti ne ntena deɛ ɔfiri no ɛkɔ no ɔnyɛ hene bio.
Nipa yɛtee ne nkan ɛyɛ abusuapanyini nana Matthew Baa ɔne ɔhema ɔba apanyini a ɔwɔ kobedi akyerɛbade royal family atu ɛyɛ nana twumbarima apaw sɛ nana mmɔ no ho mmɔdene firi sɛ obɛsi akonnwa so wɔnyɛ hwee ɔnyɛ bibi papa biara ma kuro no na kobedi ɛwɔ ɛyɛ Dɔma East district Dɔma East mansini mu ɛwɔ Bono region ɛna yɛde ɛho amanebɔ firi ɛbaayɛ no na ahana brɛbɛ ma kwan na mafo justice amanebɔ tawa medi fra Santemantam mu na yɛde so kyerɛ ɛyɛ Bonomantam mu medi ne nyinaa ebesie da sɛ nɛ yehu ankunya ne yɛda so tinkwam a yɛde amanebɔ a ɛno nso so bɛba no nso so yɛmma moaso ensi ɛwɔ ho aha yɛ GH News Now YouTube GH News Now TikTok GH News Now Facebook mafo justice mama ne bɔ no si.
Blood of the slain will never be in vain. Never. No. We don't want to see no more people dying. Zion, Yahweh. Oh, Zion, Yahweh. Oh, Zion, Yahweh. Whoa, Zion, Yahweh. Yo, listen, man. My name is Ja, beloved. You can call me Kwesi Bagon when the occasion calls for it. You are watching iCulture TV. Keep it locked. TV, Africa, from African perspective. Blood of the slain will never be in vain. No. I don't want to see no more people dying. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Yo, listen, man. My name is Ja, beloved. You can call me Kwesi back when the occasion calls for it. You are watching iCulture TV. Keep it locked. iCulture TV, Africa, from African perspective. Blood of the slain will never be in vain.